Namaste. Before I embark upon to say something deeper to you, let me explain you that the right process has been started in the right way, and that is the talk of the town everywhere. Lockdown and lockdown and again lockdown. We do not know how long it will continue, but lockdown crisis is the minimum starting base as a solution to the present crisis of the humanity. That's for sure. It is very pity or interesting to see that everywhere the only discussion which has swiped away or dominated all other topics than the topic like how long lockdown will continue, what will happen, when the peak would likely to come, when it will be over, when all these constraints imposed would likely to go away, etc. That is the point. This situation was inevitable and was due from a long time. Man's own act has finally changed him in the lockdown process. It seems it has happened due to coronavirus waves and strains, but indirectly, it is the best way the divine could allow it to happen. The divine could allow it to happen to bring humanity in the right path for the preparation of the advent of a greater dawn upon earth. For the advent of a greater dawn upon earth. No doubt, in this crisis process, we are losing a lot of near and dear of ours as a sacrifice for the upward evolutionary journey of the earth. But it is all happening for the benevolence of mankind. And this probation process of the mankind will take how much time would depends upon the collaboration of the man for the new changes in his attitude towards life. But it is conspicuous that it has started with this lockdown process. Some cosmic power is forcing the entire mankind to move in its original direction. Let's try to understand what is this lockdown process demands from us and what is the path it is indicating us. A very brief analysis in a broad spectrum to find the indications of lockdown to mankind. Each point of imposition has a symbolic interpretation to us. Let's say, don't move out. Restricting our movement, controlling our physical, mental, and emotional movements. Move only when it is indispensable. Do not always be the part of traffic congestion. And also eliminate the chances of accidents and save loss of life. That means it indicates to us that move inward. Move towards your inner self, which is safe to explore immeasurably. Remain in isolation and introspect yourself. Quite a good thing. Next, lockdown kept its palm on your mouth and stopped you from talking unnecessarily or not to make much of sound in this world. Use of mask. The droplets come out from our mouth during the conversation among each other or in a group together could be harmful when it carries some kind of virus from someone. So don't indulge in unnecessary non-stop gossips, quarrels, and arguments in everyday life. Talk less. Don't make unnecessary sounds and eliminate completely the noise pollution, whatever may be the reason. The world has started with deep silence and quietness. Ma Nisadagamaha was the first line uttered in the world as a sound. And if the human being could maintain considerable silence, then nature's natural sound of music will come back again to us very closely. The nature has its own natural sound of music which will come back again. So that is why we ask use of mask, but it has symbolically so many things to give in due course. Keep distance. Unnecessary overcrowding, congestion of the people, converting every quiet place as a commercial place has become a common feature to destroy the original purity and charm of all significant places, which should be stopped hereafter. Ultimately, when you enter through the crowd, you come across the contagious ill formations of many people in the crowded environment. That is why you feel suffocated when you pass through a crowd. So many people avoid crowd and keep distance from person to person by their own instinct. Sanitization. Always maintain absolute cleanliness as much as possible around you and wherever you are. Try to give due respect in the form of care for all the material objects you are using, living beings in front of you, you are interacting with the living beings, whether plants, animals, human beings, and belongings at your disposals. What are the things you are using around you at any point of time, which will bring clean beauty everywhere on earth if we maintain cleanliness of all these things. Night curfew restrictions. It is to remind to us that there are many phases of sentinels in 24 hours, and each phase has its own beauty and typical actions at that period, which regulates a day beautifully with a variation. So the men should learn once again that every time a new dawn with a good morning brings a new day for you, as well as the dusk and dark evening brings a starlight night for repose and harmony for a new fresh life for next day. But so far man has made day and night, morning and evening as one slot. He has missed to receive awakening of consciousness in sunrise and to take blessings at moonrise. Now all these indications of lockdown imposed upon us as a new opportunity through these restrictions. Of course, preceded to lockdown, we had to face the terror of the pandemic. We have been facing also. But without that, man would not have listened or paid attention to the seriousness of his own terror, which has endangered its own existence. In lockdown period of restrictions, we have already seen that all essentials and non-essentials requirements are being met within 2 to 4 business hours in a day, but for which men used to spend 10 to 12 hours per day for decades long by opening many distribution channels. Still their craze was remained unsatisfied. But now the consumers and suppliers both are happy and satisfied that none of them are wasting much of their time to earn money and to collect their needs. Life has become simple, and the connected activities to it have also become simple and straight. At the same time, everyone is getting time to know oneself, understand others, and finally to discover the very purpose of his being on this beautiful earth. Man is not restless now for anything except the emergency medical situations. Even the children do not need to go to school to acquire knowledge. They know now that anywhere the place can be converted as their school to derive necessary facts and information about anything in this world. Being at their home, they are matured enough to master themselves in any stream of education. The entire world has become a school for them and no more to be confined to a particular place or boundary. During this process, man will gradually understand. During this process of lockdown, I mean to say, the man will gradually understand that many unnecessary human occupations are there which were making waste their time and life purposelessly. We have seen that we are unnecessarily occupied on this earth with more business. Men will say always, I'm busy. More of production, more of supplies, more of creating demands, more of keeping oneself occupied for one's living. More of movements, more of competitions and exploitation, and more of accidents and more of diseases, deaths, psychological imbalances, depressions, and more of confusions around him. That is what he has earned, becoming busy day and night all the time. All these more and excess of anything have to be given full stop here. So, lockdown tells us that just simple living on earth without disturbing anyone with the craze of demand and supply in any manner in the name of material development and material progress. It is enough now. Now, we can look into the deeper part of the scenario for our understanding.